Doing a race. All right, let's move into pro stock action. Brad Jeter in the left lane, Mark Osborne over in the right lane. And want to send a quick get well to Steve Sitek from Pontiac. A man over in that left lane, Brad Jeter's driving one of those new Grand Ams. Steve, one of the key players for Pontiac. He had some major surgery this past week. We know he's watching tonight. Steve, everybody here in all the divisions are pulling for you for a quick recovery. Mark Osborne over in the right-hand lane. He got here courtesy of a 695 in the last round when he dumped Mark Powick. Dead even off the line. Mark Osborne's going to take the win light with a 697 at 199 miles an hour to a 703 at 198 for Brad Jeter. So Osborne's going to move into his first final of 2001. And who is he going to face? Well, it could be this man right here, Kurt Johnson. He's already been to victory lane this year. And so has the other man in the other lane, Jake Coughlin Jr. Last time out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
No, the track temperature is without a doubt slowing down these pro stock cars. Just as I say that, a cloud cover comes over and blocks the sun, but it slows these cars down. What happens to the racetrack is the oils and the rubber come up through, the petroleum comes up through the surface, it makes the track slip slicker, and these tires rotate a few turns. Next thing you know, cars slow down.
And I got to tell you guys, I don't know if it's a good omen or not, but not only is Jake Coughlin coming off a win in Las Vegas from the number 10 qualifying spot, I mentioned that a little bit ago, but Scott Woodruff, Jake Coughlin, and then the honorary starter from this weekend's event, Wade Wilcox of Mac Tools, came over here, and at 12 under par, they won the golf tournament. So Jake Coughlin is certainly on a roll and is going to try to extend it here.
12 under. They're giving us strokes next time we play.
Good.
That's Jake's radio.
Looks good. 3 feet, you're on.
Kurt Johnson got here by eliminating Larry Morgan and Ron Krischer. Jake knocked out Martino and WJ. Coughlin's been doing it consistently on reaction times. Both of them taking their time staging. Kurt Johnson goes away. Jake Coughlin, your winner.
94. Shift light didn't work in fifth gear for some reason. I don't know why, but I overran it probably 96, 9700.
694 at 199 miles an hour to a losing 809. So Jake Coughlin, for the second race in a row, is going to the finals, and he's going to have the lane choice by 3 100ths over Mark Osborne. Stay with us when we come back. A lot more coming your way. Bikes and trucks.
Whether you're a beautiful Hollywood actor.
Antron Brown against GT Tonglet. Now, Tonglet dumped Steve Johnson round one, and then Antron breaks in round number 2 after cutting a 405 light. Tonglet has moved on to the semifinals. What about Matt Hines? Well, he took care of Clarence Markham in round number 1, and then here he nails Reggie Showers. He ran a 723 in round 1, a 720 at 186 here in round number 2, and Matt Hines is on his way to the semis. Now, Angel Sealing, she struggled a little bit. She got by Ron Ayers in round number 1 with a 730, and here beats Joe DeSantis with a slow 738, barely holding on. So some problems have to be solved for the defending Winston champion in pro stock bike, and that brings us to semifinal action. And the first pair coming up out of the box, it'll be GT Tonglet and Craig Treble. Tonglet on the left lane, Treble over in the right lane.
The thing about these bikes, just like the pro stock cars, because the track temperature is heating up, the track is slicker, they can actually lower the RPM launch.
The win light, a 724 at 183. Craig Treble. A very strong pass here in the heat of the day. Let's go to the far end, get caught up with pro stock action. Bill?
Jack Coughlin, everybody in Pro Stock just saw something they didn't want to see. You going to another final round. Looks like you got this car solved.
Yeah, we sure do. That's been some hard work from Team Jags here that's got this thing lined out, and Terry Bickle's been some assistance to us as well. And, you know, to get by Warren and Kurt today and first round Tom Martino, we got our work cut out for us, and we got one of the Dodge boys in the final, and we look to be strong.
Jaggy could leapfrog over Kurt for second and come very close to catching Warren for the points lead if he wins the race.
Next up, there's Angel Savoy. They have changed motors now from the first 2 rounds. They were having a problem.
Yeah, they didn't like the looks of the engine and having some cooling problems. They changed motors. George Bryce over there lining the bike up, looking down at the shift deal there. But you know, these people do not like each other. Angel on the left, Matt Hines on the right, and they're going to go at it. This could be a final round anywhere, and the championship's probably on the line, even though we're only 5 races into the season. They're going to look back and say, you know, these are critical rounds here early on. What I was talking about earlier about lowering the RPMs, you can actually change the launch RPMs. If the track's slippery, 500 RPMs can be the difference between traction and getting a good light. Hammer job out of the gate by Angel. Look at that.
But here comes the horsepower at the far end, and the win light to Matt Hines, a 722 to a losing 728.
Wow.
So look at it, and Matt knows it. He knows that the horsepower did it.
Boy, she laid the sledgehammer on him. Watch Angel on the right side, flat drills. I mean, that's super drill on Matt Hines, and he's chasing the whole way, but you know, he's stuck with it. He's right down, looking right down the center. Cannot pay attention to what's going on in the left lane. Watch how close this race is. I'll put a line at the stripe. Right, man, he passed her. Right there. He passed her right with a few feet to spare. Look at that.
She's got a bike length on him right there.
He's staring at wheelie bars right now, but he's bringing it on right there at the stripe.
That is tremendous racing action. Lane choice. It's trouble for treble because the lane choice goes to Matt Hines with that 722. Stay with us when we come back. Pro Stock Truck. Pro Stock Truck semifinal with the lane choice. It'll be Randy Daniels over Todd Patterson, a 750 to a 751. And that'll be one of our 2 pairs. And it'll be Greg Stanfield and Bob Piniella coming up soon. And it'll be Piniella with the lane choice there. Shelley?
Well, Todd Patterson didn't come in here the favorite. He was in the number 12 spot. But yesterday in testing, he ran 2 quick runs, quicker than Randy Daniels, who's in the opposite lane. First round, he ran quicker than Randy Daniels, and Randy Daniels has lane choice by only 100th of a second. I'd say this new Dodge of Todd Patterson's is working good.
Well, Patterson eliminated Victor Cagnazzi in round 1 and Jeff Gracia in round 2. And for Randy Daniels, he took care of Craig Eaton and Scott Perrin. Close at the line of 747 at 180 miles an hour for Randy Daniels. And boy, Todd Patterson running a very strong 748, just not quite enough. The margin of victory, 34/10,000th of a second. Next pair up, Bob Piniella and Greg Stanfield. Bill?
This is a matchup we are going to see a lot of this year. In fact, we already saw this, the final round in Las Vegas just a couple of weeks ago, when Bob Piniella won his first race of the year against Greg Stanfield. These 2 trucks on paper have been almost identical, joined at the hip all weekend long, within a couple of hundredths of each other during test and tune yesterday and again today. But once again, what will Bob Piniella do at the starting line? A lot of times when he's in a big matchup, he's either late or he fouls. If he can keep his head in the game, there's no reason why he can't beat Greg Stanfield again. He's got to keep his focus.
Bob Piniella eliminated Vinnie Barone and George Sapinski to get to this moment. Stanfield took care of Joe Pickford and Bart Price. Well, laid off the line again, a 445 to a 481 light, and the difference at the finish line, 746 to a losing 747. So Greg Stanfield is going to move into the finals against Randy Daniels. Stanfield with his 746. is going to have the lane choice over Randy in that Pro Stock Truck Final. Stay with us when we come back. Still more action, a lot coming your way from the 32nd running of the Mac Tools Gator Nationals. High above Gainesville Raceway, Samuel and the crew of the Samuel Lightship are proud to be a part of today's coverage of the Mac Tools Gator Nationals. And guys, thanks for all the great shots. We have enjoyed them as always, and they have told the story so many times. And now it is time for the finals. It's only taken us a month and a stop along the way at Houston and Las Vegas, but we are at the moment of truth in all 5 pro divisions as the field has finally been narrowed down in all categories, and Pro Stock Truck will be first up. Let's go to Bill Stevens as we get caught up as we prepare for final round action.
Dean Scuse is going to the final round here at the Gator Nationals, and it has been a long stretch since he was in a final round with St. Louis last year when he lost to Jerry Tolliver. Last time Dean won a race was Maple Grove, 1998, when in the final he beat, John Force. What's the secret to the success of this team so far this year? Well, they were #1 qualifier in Phoenix with a 480. And Dean Scuse says quite simply that with all the money Mopar gives them, well, they're doing a lot better. There's John Stewart, part of their 3-man triumvirate of tuners. Brian Karate and Lance Larson making this car run like all get out. They're like a hot fudge sundae. Got your ice cream, hot fudge, and whipped cream all working together. If they have their way in the final round, they'll serve John Force a dish that he won't be able to finish.
Well, it's been a team scream weekend for Craig Trevill over here. And yesterday they were screaming about a bike that wouldn't go down the racetrack. Today they're screaming about their 4th final in his career, first this year. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll bet you're a glad racer that got to come back here to Gainesville, because you probably wouldn't have had this kind of success back March.
Well, if you would have asked me yesterday I wasn't such a glad racer today, yeah, definitely. We got rid of what we were trying to make work and go down the track with, and put what we knew back on the bike, and boy, I tell you, it sure showed. She's been flying today.
Matt the Missile in the final, that's always tough, but you're a bracket racer. You've been through this before, and no worries, right?
None whatsoever. I mean, you're in a final. You've already conquered. You're there where you want to be. So for Maco Tools, I hope it comes out victorious.
Pressure's gone for him as he goes after career win #2.
Before the rains came here in Gainesville a month ago, Mark Osborne had qualified his Mopar Pontiac in the #9 spot. Since then, we went to Houston, where he did not qualify. We went to Vegas, where he qualified in the 15th spot. But boy, have things changed. He not only has won his first round of the season, he's going to his first final round of the season, and he sure hopes to pick up his 3rd national event win in Pro Stock. He's had 11 tries, and you know, the odds aren't good, but you know, we've seen him win rounds this weekend on his driving. We've also seen this car run really quick, and I don't think you can intimidate Mark Osborne, so Jed Coughlin better do his job.
So as we look down high above Gainesville Raceway, let's get ready for Pro Stock Truck Final. For Randy Daniels, he got here by beating Craig Eaton, Scott Perrin, Todd Patterson. For Greg Stanfield, he got past Joe Pickford, Bart Price, and Bob Pinella Jr. That sets the stage. Engines come to life. And now we find out who is going to take the Mac Tools Gator Nationals Final. Shelley, you've got more?
Well, this is like a repeat of last year's final round where Greg Stanfield and Randy Daniels battled it out, and Randy Daniels got the win. But this weekend, things have changed. Randy Daniels doesn't have lane choice. It's Greg Stanfield by 100th of a second. Now, Greg Stanfield's #2 in points, but he's had top mile an hour every round. The car's running strong. Right now, you can't pick a winner. Both drivers got to do their job. Both trucks are going to run quick, and we'll just have to see.
Well, Randy Daniels in the finals is 9 victories, 14 defeats. He last beat Stanfield in the finals at the Winter Nationals this year. Now for Greg in the finals, he is 1-4. His last win came in 2000 at the AAA finals. He's never beaten Randy Daniels in the final round. Maybe today's the day. Greg Stanfield, 749 at 181 miles an hour. And you can forget about that statistic about never beating Daniels in the finals. He just did it.
Slight advantage for Greg Stanfield at the start. You see it right there, ever so slight, 1/100th, and that's the margin in which you won by 200ths if you add into the math. But Very close race, right at the finish line, nipped him right around. Both guys are focused. Last round for all the marbles.
Take a look at the point standings now. Randy Daniels on top of Greg Stanfield by only 7. Bob Pinella is losing some ground, though. Jeff Gracia, Scott Perrin round out the top 5. Now let's move our attention to Pro Stock Bike. You can hear the motors coming to life. 300 horsepower. Let's get you caught up. First off for Matt Hines. He knocked down Clarence Markham, Reggie Showers, and Angel Savoy. For Craig Treble, he got past Sean Gann, Gino Scali, and GT Tonglet. That brings us to this moment right now in the right-hand lane closest to you. That is Matt Hines. He has 26 victories, 38 defeats in finals, and last win came at Maple Grove last year. Over in the other lane for Craig Treble, he's been to 3 finals. He's only won 1 of them. That was back at Brainerd in 1999. What's interestingly enough, Craig Treble runs a Freedom motor, same one that's built by Matt Hines' team. They own that company.
You know, for Craig Treble here, he's going to need a reaction time, something better than a 420, and he's going to hope that Matt Hines is 200 slower than that, because he's going to need at least 200s to make it close to have a shot at winning this Gator Nationals.
Hines has been consistently knocking down the low 720s. So watch the reaction time.
Matt Hines got the advantage.
Yeah, and the race is over. Matt Hines made it look simple.
On a hole shot.
Yeah, he runs the hole shot at 729 to the losing 728. Let's go to the far end, catch up with our truck winner.
It's Greg Stanfield here with the treasure that goes along with winning a national event. How does it feel?
I got to tell you, it feels great. This team has worked so hard this weekend. Farron, Mike, Pops, the whole crew. And without the help from Don and Bart, this definitely wouldn't be possible. So it's definitely been a great weekend. We're happy.
Greg Stanfield, part of that big 3. Randy Daniels, Bob Pinella, and this gentleman here probably going to take great pride in maybe winning a Winston Championship this year.
Let's take a look at Pro Stock Bike points after 2 events. Matt Hines on top of Angel Savoy, Craig Treble, Antron Brown, Gino Scali round out your top 5. When we come back, well, it's Pro Stock Car. That's the version up next here at the Mac Tools Gator National. Final TV, Ricky Smith, Mark Powick, and Brad Jeter. What about Jeg Coughlin? Well, he knocked out Tom Martino, Warren Johnson, and Kurt Johnson. There's nothing the Coughlins like better than taking out the Johnson family, and Jeg did it twice today. Side-by-side burnouts as they get ready for this final round appearance. Jeg Coughlin has the lane choice. He's taken the right lane, but remember in that last round, we heard on the radio, and I finally figured out what he said. The shift light didn't come on in 3rd gear cruise, and he over-revved the motor a little.
That's right. The drivers rely on the shift light. Unlike the nitro cars, these Pro Stock drivers, along with the trucks and bikes, manually shift these cars, and the cue they get is a light right on the dash. They'll set it like at 9 grand or 9,000 RPMs. Well, Jeg was saying it did not turn on, so he stretched it out and maybe over-revved the motor a little bit.
So we'll have to wait. You'll hear them giving the cues in for Mark Osborne. He lost to Jeg Coughlin back in '98 at Houston. That was Jeg's first win. He remembers it vividly. He wants to turn it around right here. His last Pro Stock win was in Atlanta, 1998. For Coughlin, his last win just 2 weeks ago.
One of the things that makes Jeg Coughlin tough is he doesn't give you much on the tree. In other words, he doesn't give much room for you to hole shot him. He's usually right on time, so something's going to happen for Osborne to win this race, like a major hole shot, but don't count on it by Jeg.
Coughlin's quicker off the line and to the finish line first.
93 beat a 92, man.
He hole shots him.
Wow.
Excellent job, fellas.
For the second national event in a row, Jeg Coughlin has won on the hole shot. Let's go to the far end. Our Pro Stock Bike winner, Matt Hines, is with Bill Stevens.
Matt Hines wins his first race of 2001. Had to take out Angel to do it. Beat Craig Treble in the final. Nobody gave you anything today.
This was an awesome Mac Tools Gator Nationals. I tell you, the whole team was working really hard. We got some serious horsepower. Everyone, Vance Hines, Eagle One, doing a rooting, just rooting for us. And I can't wait to win another one of these things. It's just awesome.
Matt the Missile earns his nickname again, this time on a hole shot.
Well, that's our second hole shot winner in 3 races so far today in the finals. Take a look at the updated Pro Stock points. Jed Coughlin Jr. has moved into second ahead of Kurt and just behind Warren. Mark Powick, Jim Yates round out the top 5. Stay with us. Some serious ground pounding still to come. Funny Car Finals up next. Heat Thursday night, 6:30 Eastern Time on ESPN2. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Let's catch up with Mr. Heat. He's caught up with Jed Coughlin.
Smiles all around down here at the top end with Jed Coughlin wins his 2nd race in a row. Jeg, I know the power's back in your Chevy Cavalier, but lately you're killing everybody at the starting line.
Well, you know, sometimes that's just what it takes. And the red bow tie today, the Chevy prevailed. You know, we got our friends here at Mac Tools putting on a great race, and we're real happy to win this race with them. And they're a great supporter of our program. And, you know, we fought this deal all day, got by both the Johnson cars. That's extremely tough. And Osborne was hungry there in the final, and Team Mopar and Nickens. They did a heck of a job, and we just kind of snuck by them.
The defending Winston champion beginning to work people over again.
Boy, ain't that the truth. Let's work over Dean Scusa. He took care of Gary Dencham, Jim Epler, and Tim Wilkerson. What about the guy who's going to go run up against here in the final, John Force? Well, the 10-time champion took out Chuck Etchells, Al Hoffman, and Ron Capps. So that sets the stage as we get ready now for the Funny Car Final. And you're looking at the eyes of one determined race car driver. That is Dean Scusa.
Dean Scusa's been talking a little smack. Now's where the rubber meets the road, as they say. Now's your time to take your shot at Force. Get him out of there. He's going to start run away with this thing.
Getting ready to fire both machines. There's just a slight delay down on the starting line. Shelley, what do you have for us?
Well, isn't drag racing interesting? Dean Scusa started the season with a DNQ. He did not qualify at the Winter Nationals. Then he went to Phoenix, qualified the #1 spot. Now, this is his first final of the season. He's number 10 in points. He's racing #1 in points. And you know, he's got lane choice, so don't count the guy out. But Force has a lot of brain trust in his right lane right now.
Well, in fact, his progression has gone from a DNQ to a first round, then to a second round, into the semis, and now here he is in the final. So the only thing left for him to do is to knock down the victory. Slowly making his way up to heat up those good years. Here comes John Ford. Let's go to Bill Stevens.
I'll tell you, Marty, look at the numbers for these 2 racers throughout the day today, and it just shows you what a fickle mistress drag racing can be. I mean, in the first couple of rounds, John Force was invincible. A couple of 492s. Dean Scusa, way off the pace. A 5 flat, a 502, but in the semifinals, the great equalizer. Force with a 521 gets by Cabs. Scusa goes 520. Now, I don't know what to think. Dave Reef?
And Bill, we give a lot of credence to round records. John Force has gotten over on Dean Scusa 16 of the 22 times they met. But let me throw this out. The first 11 times they met, indeed, John Force did take that win. So if you do the math and break it down, that means the last 11 times they've raced, Dean Scusa's won 6 of them. And not too many people can say that. As I look around the starting line, I see a lot of people up here that are pulling for that black car to stop that guy going after that 11th championship.
Well, Scusa's last final victory over Force was Maple Grove back in 1998. So it definitely bodes that he can do it, Cruz. Now the question is, he's got to do it right here, right now.
That's right, without a doubt. He can do it. He better bring a good reaction time, and they better have muscle in that Mopar over there. I like Force's chances here. He runs good at Gainesville. It's the final round. But in drag racing, Force ran a 521. He shot a couple of spark plugs out and dropped a cylinder the previous round. But it's going to be anybody's race. We'll see who gets the advantage on the starting line.
So Scusa hands it right to Force, and he only ran a 531. He's going to be kicking himself all the way home to Cleveland, Ohio, because he had a shot.
Yeah, 531. You know, you make your luck in this sport, and what in the world is a guy doing smoking the tires? But a 531, get out of here with that. But Force is the winner. I mean, he scares these guys and makes these guys do things, gets them out of their game.
Career win number 94, Dave Reef.
And I don't think Austin Coyle has stopped chuckling since they left the line with smoke and ended up getting the win.
Well, you know, this it's kind of a nice thing to know that you can still have some good luck, and that sure is a factor. You know, I had a lot of bad luck. I lost my dog, has been with me for 10 years, and me and my wife are plenty sad over that, and like this will bring a little cheer into our lives, and it's just good to be lucky.
Every now and then, absolutely.
So Austin heads back to the pit area to take a look at this run, and oh man, we talk about it so many times. Ron Capps is doing the same thing that Dean Scoos is now doing.
See, Force did not fix the problem in the previous round. You see the moisture coming out of the pipes there. He was dropping the cylinders on this side of the car. Right there on that side, you can't see it, but that car does not have, it's less 800 or 900 horsepower with the cylinder out. But Scusa, what in the world was he doing smoking the tires?
All right, let's take a look at the points. John Force, 421. Bruce Sarver's now bumped down to second. Tommy Johnson, Whit Bazemore, Ron Capps. That's your top five. Let's go to the far end. Bill Stevens.
Are you fucking shitting
This interview has already started.
That is the good stuff. You don't
We had
get
to start
it.
without you.
You don't get it.
Hey, John, that was not an artistic
She was
success.
wounded. I hit the throttle. She went out. They said she put out 4 or 5 holes. She's just trucking down through there. And I got John Aiden here, the president, wanted to win for Mac Tool. I got MBNA and AAA and Castrol and everybody, but I even brought a Chevy along to help me, old Hernard, just to fix his old heat. Had to talk to somebody. He just wasn't working all weekend, and it just started. Coyle just said, he's in for what?
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Don't start in there. I'm finally having a good day.
And we're having a good day, too. There's Larry Dixon. Will be a good day for him. Last time he ran up against Selzy in a final was Memphis of last year. You remember what happened there? Dixon crashed. He wants to forget about that. Dave? Bill?
You know, I'm beginning to feel deja vu, Marty. Let's get back to Houston, where Larry Dixon, I'm telling you, the guy was absolutely solid all day long. A 455, a 460, a 455, and then that 457 in the final round, losing on the whole shot to Mike Dunn. Dixon's been consistently quick again today. Now he's on the starting line against Gary Selzy, and you know, if Dixon doesn't do his job, Gary Selzy is going to punch him out. Dave?
Yeah, but Bill, this is also setting up to be an emotional final here, as Gary Selzy, with the win today, would equal the same national event win total as the late Blaine Johnson, the guy he's took over for. In fact, this was one of last Blaine's wins. So there's a lot of emotion on the starting line today, and I know Gary Selzy is focused and wants to get the job done.
Well, he's never won here at the Gator Nationals, and he told me flat out between rounds, Cruz, he says, don't be surprised if you see me deep stage.
Well, this is the final round. You know, the guy that gets to the finish line wins. Nothing fancy. Put it in there deep, whatever it takes. I'm sure Larry's thinking in that car. He's lost on a hole shot the last time in the final. I'm sure Perdome's back there waiting with a big stick if he doesn't win this race. So I'm sure they're going to try to do whatever it takes, put the car in deep, get a good light, try to win. Dixon's got it.
By a car length, 466 at 313 to a losing 472. And Selzy still has yet to win at Gainesville. And he stops it right in the middle of the racetrack. He wants to bob out.
You can see Larry's head jerking there. He's excited. He's yelling in that helmet. What a big win for Larry. That's big.
Let's go to the starting line, Dave.
He's getting a little nuts.
We've said it all along, guys. The Dick LaHaye and Larry Dixon, this was a team waiting to win. They don't have to wait no longer, Dick.
Well, you know, this was kind of a funny place to come back to and race at. We struggled like the crazy yesterday, and today was just more consistent than we could ever imagine. I mean, the thing run real well all day, and I'm just happy for the team and, you know, Miller Lite and everybody involved with it.
And they have some things in store for the field, too. So watch out. Larry Dixon might make it tough on the rest of the field, Bill.
Larry Dixon is getting unwrapped here at the top end. When he came out of that race car, I thought we were going to have to chain him up. Man, Larry, the perfect end to a perfect day.
Man, I can tell you what. Ever since Memphis, trying to win one of these things has been so damn hard. Miller, Snake, everybody's been, you know, it's Mac Tool's race. We covered you boys,
Absolutely.
you know, Chevrolet. Man, I'm thrilled to death. You know, I just, that win light down there past the finish line's your lifeline. As soon as you leave the starting line, you're just praying to see it. I saw that time already lost my voice, man. You can scream a lot in 4.5 seconds.
That is one happy drag racer.
Hi, Allie. Hi,
The
Donovan.
11th win for
you guys.
Snake Racing between LaHaye, Prudhomme, Dixon. They've won 11 times here. Take a look at the points. Only 5 points separate Mike Dunn and Larry Dixon. Kenny Bernstein's third. Doug Kalitta's fourth. Gary Selzy rounds out the top 5. Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap it up here at the Mac Tools Gator Nationals when you come back to join us here in Gainesville.
Oh, I think I lost my keys.
Nice.
On the 32nd running of the Mac Tool Gator Nationals. Let's turn to Top Fuel first. Our 5th different winner.
Big win for Larry Dixon. They've been knocking on the door. Dick LaHaye and the Prudhomme team finally got it together, and watching Larry climb out of the car, he looked just about as relieved as he did excited about winning it.
Let's turn to funny car because John Force was vulnerable today. They let him go.
Semifinals, he had cylinder dropping. He was on the mat. These guys needed to kick him while he was down, but they let him get up and win another one.
In Pro Stock 2 races ago, Jed Coughlin was 8th in the points. All of a sudden, he's 2nd. He's back in it.
2 wins in a row. It just shows the strength of that team. Former champion, Winston champion, defending champion, 2 in a row.
And as we turn to Pro Stock Bike, well, it's still Matt and Angel up top, but it's also Craig Treble and, of course, Antron Brown coming into it. Pro Stock Truck, still the same 3 guys at the top of the heat. Don't forget about next week. We'll be at Bristol qualifying Saturday from Thunder Valley, 9:30 Eastern time, and then final eliminations, 5:30 Eastern on Sunday. That's all on ESPN2. For Cruz Pedregon, Bill Stevens, Dave Reed, Shelly Anderson, I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us here on ESPN Speed World. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. We'll see you at Bristol next week. So long, everybody.